I think unjust prosecution is something that everybody should speak up for and say, no, it's not right. And we don't tolerate that here in Florida. This is from the press conference. So this is the statement that people have a problem with. So I want to walk it through and say, okay, what exactly is the problem here? Let's call the balls and strikes and let's walk through this. So there's somebody asking a question. They're doing it very, very far away from the mic, so you can't really hear it. You'll be able to hear Ron, so don't worry about that.
So I've seen rumors swirl. I have not seen any facts yet, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know this: the Manhattan District Attorney is a Soros-funded prosecutor, and so he, like other Soros-funded prosecutors, they weaponize their office to impose a political agenda on society at the expense of the rule of law and public safety. He has downgraded over 50% of the felonies to misdemeanors. He says he doesn't want to even have jail time for the vast, vast majority of crimes. And what we've seen in Manhattan is we've seen the crime rate go up, and we've seen citizens become less safe. And so situation with, and look, I don't know what goes into paying.
Okay, so far, okay, let me just get what's the starting here. So the start was pretty good there. So at the start there, in case the volume was a little low, I think it was all right. What he starts out with there is talking about the Soros-funded prosecutor in New York has fucked things up. And they have a political agenda. They fuck things up for New Yorkers. They're making it worse. These are all facts. So that part is actually purely factual in terms of that he's Soros-backed. He fucked New York up. You can ask New Yorkers, even people who are New Yorkers often don't live in New York.
Far be it from me to call a prosecutor a two-faced bag of garbage, but I mean, if the shoe fits.
So this part, accurate so far. Nothing he said is inaccurate. And to the extent that you can make this into a war on Soros prosecutors, that would be fantastic. So let's continue here.
Hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair. I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to.
And I don't know, some people, you know, if you're really sensitive, you might be like, oh, that's a dig. Well, I mean, Trump, here's the thing I like about Trump. And I actually I really like this about Trump. Trump's like, yeah, I bang porn stars. What? Like, who cares? Like, you know, and whether or not, look, you can go the moral route. I don't think Trump. Frankly, I don't think Trump gives a shit, to be completely honest. I really don't. And he shouldn't. And I think that's what makes him likable. Is he's like, yeah, I bang a porn star. What? You bang a porn star too.
Is that if you have a prosecutor who is ignoring crimes happening every single day in his jurisdiction, and he chooses to go back many, many years ago to try to use something about porn star hush money payments, you know, that's an example of pursuing a political agenda and weaponizing the office. And I think that that's fundamentally wrong. I also think it's important to point out.
So there, that's good as well. I think all that is good. We do need to go against people that are prosecuting people for political prosecutions. That's perfectly fine as well. That's totally, that part is good.
Talking about these Soros-funded prosecutors, yes, they may do a high-profile politicized prosecution, and that's bad, but the real victims are ordinary New Yorkers, ordinary Americans in all these different jurisdictions, that they get victimized every day because of the reckless political agenda that these Soros DAs bring to their job. They ignore crime and they empower criminals, and that hurts people. Hurts a lot of people every single
day. Still facts. This is all factual still.
District attorneys are a menace to society.
A menace to society. I like that.
Governor in the country that's actually
so they're drinking gin and juice on the South Side, right?
Removed one from office during my tenure. And in terms of we are not involved in this, won't be involved in this. I have no interest in getting involved in some type of manufactured circus by some Soros DA, okay? He's trying to do a political spectacle. He's trying to virtue signal for his base. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida. We're obviously...
Okay, so here's where I think he loses it. This is the point where I think he loses it, where he says, I've got real issues. I'm going to rewind this a little bit because this is where I think that Ron goes astray. I think he didn't, this ending is not how he should have ended here. He should have taken this a different way. So let me just rewind it a little bit and then play this part out again.
Not involved in this, won't be involved in this. I have no interest in getting involved in some type of manufactured circus by some Soros DA, okay? He's trying to do a political spectacle. He's trying to virtue signal for his base. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida. We're obviously shutting down CBDC, which is important. We've got so many things pending in front of the legislature. I've got to spend my time on issues that actually matter to people. I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So we're not going to be involved in it anyway.
Okay, so they're not going to be involved in it in any way. That's the comment that he said right there, right? Okay, so let's look at that. Is that true? Is that true? Is that a factual statement? I would say yes. I would say that is a factual statement that they don't have to be involved in the process at all. And so far, it seems like Florida and Florida law enforcement is completely uninvolved, right? It's the Secret Service communicating in New York. Doesn't seem like Florida's getting involved at all. So that part seems factual. However, a couple problems with his train of thinking. Number one, let's talk about central bank digital currencies real quick. How the fuck is Florida going to be able to do anything about CBDCs without federal level support? Florida is going to be preempted all over the place if they try to do anything on CBDCs. So trying to say, okay, we're going to do CBDCs. No, here's what you say. You say, we've got to clean things up at all levels in the prosecutor's office, the DA. We've got to clean those up, local level. We've got to clean up the state government, and we've got to clean up the federal government, including the bankers that are allowing bank bailouts while enabling CBDCs that are going to spy into every point in your life. And that's why we need to work together. We need to back up Donald Trump. That's how he should have done that. He should have said, I'm with Trump here. To do anything else was really stupid, and I'm not sure where he was going with that other than to undercut for the purpose of a primary, which I think is kind of foolish. I think unjust prosecution is something that everybody should speak up for and say, no, it's not right, and we don't tolerate that here in Florida. And if Donald Trump needs any help, I got his back. See, if he said that, that would have been entirely different. That would have been entirely different. Because we do need to stop unjust prosecution. We see it all the time. Anybody who's watching the Anderson case, you see the unjust prosecution.